Hello everyone. Today's game is between Grandmaster Christian Bauer 25-28 with the white pieces and Etienne Bacrot with the black pieces at 25-61. This game took place in 1999. We have a King's Gambit here, e4, e5, f4, e takes f4 in here. Knight c3 is played. Very provocative move, often with the purpose of causing black to waste a lot of time chasing the king around after the move queen h4 check as played in the game. King e2. And of course, this is all by design. There have been many games where black has chased the king around and then lost time in having his queen attacked with Tempe later on. So it's a very sharp variation right here. Of course, normal is knight f3 here, or even bishop c4. Knight c3 is playable. Also, queen h4, check, king e2, and queen e7 by Bacrot, which wasn't the common move at the time, although you do wind up moving the queen at some point. Normal at the time was to play the move d5, which is just a counter sacrifice with the objective of just being equal. And this is perfectly fine also. So after knight takes d5, queen just returns, d4, knight f6, bishop takes, knight takes, d5, e takes, and queen takes d5, and you can see that black has no problems here in the position. So king f2, bishop d6, for example, is an easy path to follow. So back to the game, however, Bacrot had just retreated the queen back immediately, and his plan is to just keep tremendous pressure down the e file as long as that king is there. So d4 was played, knight f6, pressuring the e pawn, e5, and as you can see, there is no real threat to the knight. And now d6 is played, just putting more pressure on the pawn. Knight f3, and just d takes, and now Bacrot plays this move g5. If knight c6, then just bishop f4 might be a little unclear here, but black is still better in my opinion. Instead he plays g5 here, and the knight can't capture because of the vulnerability on the e file once again, the e5 pawn and the king. So the knight would get picked up here. Alright. So after g5, king e1 was played. Alright, and strange move. Yeah, I don't think you set out really to play a King's Gambit and to wind up having to just move your king from e2 to e1. So it might be a sign that things have gone wrong for white. g4 is played, and Christian Bauer played bishop takes f4. So he's just giving up the piece. G takes, the queen takes f3. And I would think that was a little weird if this wasn't a King's Gambit. So piece sacrifices are not as surprising as in other openings. All right. So c6. Okay. And now bishop c4 was played, and bishop g7. So of course, with the piece sacrifice, white has to try to exploit his lead in development, try to utilize these open files to whip up an attack. And I think that white actually does a good job of that. So here's another king move, king d2, but at least this time there's a threat involved. So the knight is actually about to be captured on f6. So knight comes to g4, attacking the e pawn again. Rook a1, and now bishop e6. A good move here. If if black castles, then e6 is a problem here all of a sudden with a knight being cut off from the protection of this bishop. Lines about to be opened up against the king and the queen respectively. So the rook a1, bishop e6. Okay, trades off some more pieces, which helps black out and keeps the position closed at the same time. So bishop takes e6, queen takes e6, h3, hitting the knight, knight to h6, and now knight e4, castles, and now king c1. So we see the king has made quite a journey and finally looks like it actually castled in the traditional way when it really hasn't. So knight d7, knight g5. So here's white whipping up this attack, and now e6 is finally played. So you can see the downside of e6 here is that it does open up the diagonal to the white's king via b2. But I think that I think that white has to play in this way. He is down a piece, and he basically has to, go for broke in this situation. So e6, and hope that black makes an error. Knight b6, h4, knight d5. So you King's Gambit players out there might still enjoy this position, even though you're a piece down because of the prospects in the position for white. So bishop d6 was played, rook fd8, bishop hops back to a3, rook e8, rook h3, desperately trying to get all of the pieces that he has into the game, f3, and now rook to g3 here. If knight f7 here, then black can simply trade here. And white just doesn't have enough to sustain his attack. So here he plays rook g3, f takes g5, rook takes g5, queen f6, queen g3, king h8, getting rid of the pin on the bishop, at c4, and then this queen f4 check. This forces the trade of queens, and Bauer was forced to resign here. So interesting game, novelty at the time from Bacrot against this knight c3 in the King's Gambit. And the novelty was this early queen e7, whereas previously d5 was like the main move that was played here. So queen e7 bypassed the need to actually make any kind of counter sacrifice. So that game kind of put that line back a little bit, unless white is able to make any type of improvements. So anyway, short game but good game. Hope you enjoyed that. Please subscribe to my channel and donate if you can, and check my links below. There's going to be DVDs and books related to the opening that we discussed today, which is the King's Gambit. Alright, so look forward to your comments and feedback, and I'll see you on the next video.